Hello to everyone. You can stay. something happened here. Yeah, absolutely yes. So, hey, hello to everyone. Nice to be here with you. If you agree, I will present first of all, the important persons in the scenario, which are the speakers. Please, Amos. Let me introduce first to Amos Roncino, senior energy expert from Enerbrain. Sorry,
Yes.
I say bad the surname, right?
Yes.
Sorry for that. Pedro Ruiz, please, from Nestlé. And Guillermo Mas Martinez from Akbar, Suez. So we are ready now. Again, thank you very much to be here. The conversation is, please, go. The idea for today is to discuss or to illustrate, to showcase, and so on, which is the circular economy, but especially true specific cases or real cases conducted by corporations and a scale-up. We have two big corporates and a scale-up here, just to illustrate you how, from a perspective from a company that are facing the circular economy, in that case from the energy perspective, how they are working on collaborating with big corporations, and for the other side, how the corporations are facing this disruptive change that we are facing around us in terms of integrating the new technologies, collaborating with other stakeholders that normally they are not collaborating in a daily basis, and so on. So we will explore that. This will be the topic for today. Maybe as you already know, circular economy is around us. This is a very huge topic. I'm not a top expert on that, so I will not illustrate you in circular economy. I assume that you already know the topic. But of course, in our perspective from Shellify, which are helping companies to transform itself, we consider that circular economy is one of the main ways to face the transformation, because we are not talking only about cultural or new collaborations or new models or integrate technology. We are talking also to change business models, value chains, manufacturing, raw materials. We are talking about a big transformation. That is what means the circular economy. Of course, other part is that circular economy is a very big topic. So we will approach it from the perspective of the speakers, but of course it's a very big, huge and wide concept. And if you are okay, I will start with that guys that are, I think is a good experts, no like me. I will start with you, Guillermo. Maybe we can start saying maybe what is your position and your approach from Suez on circular economy, please.
Okay. First of all, Diego, thank you for inviting me to be today here at South Summit and talking about circular economy. As we said before, I'm from Suez. I'm the innovation director. And we, as a company that manages resources, mainly water, we have a very close relationship with circular economy. For us, it's not a vision, it's a need, it's a must. And we are working on a daily basis, transforming our operations and considering the circular economy principles. In that sense, I would like to highlight some of the main challenges we are facing when we talk about circular economy, and they are mainly three. The first one is related to the environmental impact. We need to reduce that environmental impact that we are causing on the planet, and we all know why. We don't have a planet B, so it's the only way we have to keep the life in Earth. And the second main challenge that we are facing is we need to generate new business models, because I don't know if you are aware of this, but mainly the contractors that deal with waste are being paid according to the quantity of the tons or the quantity of resources they are treating. So that's not a good driver to promote or to foster the circular economy. And the third one, it's about the legislation, the regulations, because there are many regulations that are difficulting or are against the circular economy principles, and maybe a sort of sandbox could be a good idea to explore and to test new technologies and new ways to approach the circular economy.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much. Pedro, from the perspective of Nestlé, you are already, you also are, sorry, a very big corporation, so maybe you have more than one approach to the circular economy, but maybe you can explain your position and how you are doing that.
Okay, thank you, Diego. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share with you our strategy in circular economy. My name is Pedro Ruiz. I joined Nestlé 30 years ago, mainly working in factories as factory engineer, and 6 years ago working in sustainability and developing the strategic master plan in sustainability from a corporate point of view, from a transversal way through marketing, production, supply chain, along the value chain. We frame the circular economy in the purpose of the company, and it's not other than use the power of food to improve the quality of life now in future generations. When we talk about future generation, we talk with respect, and respect for people, from communities, and from the planet. And working with respect for the planet, we talk about our priorities in sustainability, that is climate change, what is the main challenge to reduce emissions, and also to promote circular economy with examples as packaging, as resources and waste. We talk about the watership of use of water. Okay. We talk about communication. We have to add value at what we know. And also there's a challenge about training and awareness of consumers, clients of this. So we made circular economy as one of the priorities in our strategic master plan.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Pedro. Please, Amos, your perspectives, I think, is totally different from a corporate.
Yes.
But
sure.
I think it's quite relevant.
Yes, I mean, we usually deal with big companies, so I introduce myself. My name is Amos. I am a key account manager in Enerbrain, which is a scale-up from Turin, Italy. And Enerbrain was born 6 years ago with one objective, which was to reduce the energy consumption in buildings, since buildings are consuming 40% of energy all around the world. So these are numbers that everybody knows. This is no more sexy. This is urgent. First of all, the idea of Enerbrain to reduce energy consumption includes itself the idea of circular economy, since something you are saving in terms of energy, and of course in terms of money, can be used for other aims. So basically, Enerbrain wanted to use technology and innovation to do this. And we are still here after 6 years, so we are 6 people scale up. I joined the team when we were like 6, 7 people, so the solution is working. It is a big challenge, actually, because sometimes the market, big companies are still linked to an idea of industrial economy. And circular economy is something that is linked to the territory, is linked to the local. So it's a bottom-up approach. And we need to link the two type of economics to make it work.
Yeah.
So usually we deal with a private company, but for us, companies are also public administrations, municipality, which is big level of complexity to introduce innovation and to start talking about circular economy in real terms, because I'm a commercial, but I'm an engineer too, so I have this struggle with it. And so I like to propose practice, real solutions in the short time, not, as said Greta Thunberg a couple of days ago in Milan, like blah, blah, blah. We need to understand that circular economy, when we talk about climate change and circular economy, we're talking about job opportunity. This is not like cutting opportunity. This is to produce opportunity of a market which is already filled of everything we know until now.
Absolutely. Thank you, Amos, for your vision. I think it's very interesting just to understand how you are living that and you are contributing to that change from the perspective of a scale-up. I know them very well because they are also in our portfolio. So I know you very well, and they are doing a very good job. It's growing a lot and fast.
Fortunately, yes.
Taking your words from your words of when you are mentioned governments, other corporations, and so on, we are talking about ecosystems. We are talking about collaboration, and this is a huge part of the circular economy. Of course, you can face these kind of challenges from the inside out because you already know, maybe you have internally your knowledge, some capabilities, and so on, but mainly circular economy can be afforded if you share with local ecosystems, your local value chains, and you collaborate with them. In that box, how you are facing that, Guillermo, for example?
In our case, as I said before, circular economy is key for us and for our local ecosystems. Yeah. I mean, when we work in circular economy, it's because it gives us some important advantages. For example, if we create closed circuits in our surroundings, we are more resilient. In a case of a crisis, we can recover better from a shortage of suppliers, and we can also create a positive impact, economic impact, in our surroundings, and that's very important for us, of course. And in addition, we always work in an open innovation ecosystem mode. We collaborate with universities, research centers, scale-ups, startups, and we are launching soon a new call for startups based on circular economy. It's going to be called Dynamics Open Challenge. So if you wanna, you are working on a startup or you have a solution related to circular economy, please contact me or Google Dynamics Open Challenge and submit us your proposal.
Thank you very much, Guillermo. Absolutely. From your side, Pedro, also you are also, of course, collaborating with other part of the ecosystem.
Yeah, of course. I fully agree with you. That is something bottom up and something local. Yeah. And in case of managed water or managed energy, is some example. For example, we have the commitment to achieve zero net emissions in 2050, but we can do it by ourselves. We have making the ecosystem with suppliers, with all the stakeholders along the value chain. So we have some projects focused on that. And also in terms of water, or how managing waters, there are the factory with the river inside we take water, but also the time hold of the companies and how to manage all together the flow of the river and the water is also important. So to create an ecosystem and to work in a collaborative way is the way to work. In our case, we have saving the use of water in the last 10 years more than 50%, if we talk about Nestlé Spain. So changing one through cooling system for refrigerate the process to closed circuits. So just with this kind of investment, we are saving more than 50% of the use of water. That means about 2 million cubic meters. So that's an important quantity of water. No? And also in terms of energy, we are now with some investments about biomass boiler, how to produce steam not for natural gas, but also from the coffee grounds that proceed from the own process of made soluble coffee. So we use the coffee grounds with a high calorific power to produce the energy for the process. So for one side, it's a circular economy model. For other side, it's a CO2 emission reduction, important CO2 emission reduction, because it's marginal. So in this kind of projects we are working.
Excellent. And sorry, but in that specific case, you are collaborating with whom? With some startups or maybe?
Yeah, in the case of the boiler, we have one in Girona with coffee grounds, and we have another boiler in Cantabria, in La Penilla, for cocoa shell to do the same, and it's with a startup called Enertica to work on that to develop the project. So it's important.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Of course, again, your perspective is totally different for the result, but maybe it's interesting for the audience to understand is how you are collaborating with corporations. Normally, I'm not talking about provider clients, maybe other topics like how you find them open to do it, a part of the saving the money part.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this is a tough topic, the money one.
Always.
I mean, still. Basically, as I mentioned before, we are collaborating with private or public partners. We like to say that we are not provider of a service, but we are partner up with other companies and other municipalities, because we all have the same target here in this room. We need to have more clean air and to consume less energy. And energy is something that you cannot touch. So it's very difficult to communicate your results. This is why it's difficult to keep money on one side and talking about other things, because the only thing that people can understand very well is money. And so when you say, okay, you're saving energy, you're a company, a private company, so then you have one approach to, let them understand, which is maybe more economic. Then we have another approach, and which is more for public, talking about energy project at European level. So innovation projects, we are making a lot of dissemination from school, starting from the children. Then we are collaborating with municipalities, because we are from Turin, which is a beautiful city, but we have a little problem, which is Alps. So no wind in Turin, a lot of pollution. And the municipality of Turin is aware of this problem. So we are one of the most polluted cities in Italy and Europe. This is why we started also collaborating with the municipality in order to make the quality of life better from all citizens and also colleagues. We live in Turin. The four founders of Enerbrain were in Turin. They went abroad, and then they come back to Turin because they wanted to make a change in Italy, studying in Italy, not in other countries. So going back to your point, working with the municipalities also means working with energy utilities. Big energy utilities. Local, like Iren, which is a local one in the north of Italy, or also big ones like Edison, for example. So multinational utilities. And this means change also their mindset in the topic of energy. So
Yep.
starting from the selling energy, and then you are going to tell them that they have to save energy.
Yeah.
This is a big change of mindset. So who provides energy, who consumes energy, and who is making this process be optimized in the name of energy efficiency.
Okay.
So this is more or less the
Excellent.
panorama.
Absolutely. Big topic, the mindset. Okay, perfect. Maybe we can summarize, because when we are talking about, again, circular economy is a big topic. It's a very big topic. So we need to go down maybe with some cases on some specific examples. You already mentioned some of them, but maybe maybe I'm especially interested in how you are collaborating with new companies, SMEs, startups, and so on, because of course, maybe you can find that talent locally. If not, okay, you can do an open call, you can do an instrument to attract them to the local community, but in some case, you need to collaborate, means you need to be open, you need to change some mindset inside and processes inside your company, just to leverage that capabilities to a specific project. Maybe, Pedro, you can give us an example on that. Huh?
If we talk about circular economy, we have to talk about packaging, waste packaging, and plastic, of course. So in that case, we have the commitment that in 2025, 100% of our packaging will be recyclable or reusable. We have a second commitment that we will collaborate with how to improve the infrastructure to selecting and recycling packaging waste. And also we have the commitment of incorporate recycled plastic in our packaging. So talking about the first commitment of how to make 100% of packaging recyclable, we have developed a project with a startup. It's called Biofactories, that they have the idea to create plastic from microbes.
Bacteria.
So from bacteria. And the bacteria comes from wastewater treatment plant slurry. So in that case, they have put a big container with as a laboratory to put the bacteria, to put the food from the slurry, and create this polymer. And now we have sent the polymer to our center in Switzerland, how to study the possible opportunities, how to use this biopolymer and produce from circular economy, because it comes from the slurry, and how to potentiate this Biotech startup. Yeah. So this is a good example of collaboration on that. And on the other hand, we have also a collaborative project with our competitors to improve circularity on flexible packaging, because flexible packaging in terms of recyclability is a challenge. We have all, not just Nestlé, all the food industry, we have this challenge because just few of flexible packaging is recycled today, but it's necessary to increase the recycling techniques to have the possibility of have recycled material food safety in contact with food, and just we have this situation solved with PET from bottled water, but we have to challenge with flexible packaging.
Absolutely. So it's a big challenge. Maybe I know the first project, Biotech. I know that startup. It's just to be aware on that. And so when we are talking that they can produce a bioplastic, means that they need to produce the plastic in the form to be used with the actual manufacturers of the plastic. So they need to have this raw material in the same condition that they are taking now the current one. Yeah. And then you already told me that then at the end, they need to recycle that bioplastic also. So they need to secure that part also. So it's quite complex. Circular economy, of course, is quite complex. So not to be afraid of that, but it's a complex process.
Bioplastics comes from renewable resource, but at the end, after use, the recycling system is a polymer. You have to recycle as the normal.
The same conditions. Yes. From your side, you are, as Suez, Jacques, you are working with a lot of startups, of course. You are plenty of process with them, pilots, and so on. So maybe you can highlight a couple of them.
Yes, we're collaborating with many, many startups and scale-ups, and I'm not going to name all of them, but I would like to explain mostly where do we work with them. Our main point of contact are our wastewater treatment plants. That's a bad name that we are changing because we prefer to call them biofactories because it's what they are really doing right now. In the past concept, they were treating residues, and once treated and depolluted, they were discharged to the environment. But now we're introducing those circular economy principles in our operations, and we are recovering and reusing high quantities, a high percentage of the water we treat. And that's something very important. We have our first reference 10 years ago in Chile, when nobody was talking about circular economy. We started with a pioneer project, and now we are applying this kind of best practices and this kind of best technologies we are using there in our facilities here in Spain, and with very interesting projects in Barcelona, in Alicante, in Granada, that, of course, I can share with you in another moment.
Absolutely. Very, very big projects. Amazing. In front of your side, maybe Amos is, I don't know how you find, because you already talk about the need of mindset, you need to put the money over the table just to figure out, to convince the companies that they are facing that. But let me say that, or related to consumption and reduce of consumption and so on, is a very huge topic of the companies are facing that. So
Yes.
For you, it's a natural way, no? It's a big market. So how you're...
Yes, let's say that now, when we started, we were sort of nice to have solution.
Yeah.
Okay, because it was the situation is urgent since 30 years, but nowadays we are like alarming. And anyway, our solution can reduce the energy consumption, as I said, and one big project that we already developed a couple of years ago, but it's still good to share because it's the good thing that we can replicate those results is with the municipality of Turin, and how a technology which uses artificial intelligence, IoT devices can improve in a short period a very good results. We are talking about saving 30% of energy in more or less 100 buildings in Turin, which means public buildings in Turin, composed by schools, offices, libraries, and other public spaces, museums, and so on. And we could install and make the system work in those 100 buildings in more or less 4 or 5 weeks. So this means that for companies in the tertiary sector, in the industrial sector, in public administrations, the using innovation. I don't mean using EnerBrain. EnerBrain is one of those, but there are many other companies and young guys that are suffering a lot to improve their solutions. That we need to listen to this change, because this is the only way to let the past, and the past is the industrial economy, and also bring innovation in big structures. So in big companies that, of course, Nestlé would be one of those. As they are big, it is a long way to bring innovation inside. So maybe there is a good idea, but from time zero to make it complete, we're talking about months or years. We don't have this time anymore. We need to go on straight to the objective. So our project with the Turin was an example, but I could explain some project with Carrefour or with private companies that consumes energy. But anyway, Turin is good because communicate the result, as I was mentioning before, is important to citizens because that's the objective. So for the citizens of Turin, our project meant doubling the trees in Turin. That is what people understand. So we could talk about reduce the kilowatt hours, the cubic meter of natural gas, and so on. But then if you say, okay, it's like having the double green area and public parks in Turin after any rain, this means that you cut a lot of energy, a cut of pollution. And I mean, this should be the basic to go on.
Thank you, Amos. Sorry, guys, we are very right on time. You are controlling me. Hope you enjoy the session and you have a little bit more clear ideas around circular economy. It's a big topic, but I think it's very, very interesting for all of us. Thank you very much to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.